Bamba needs to deal with the number 9 Porsche of Dennis Olsen. Surely they'd have been on the phone to Dennis, a Porsche young professional as they call them now, and said to him, you've got to let the leader through. Find a way to let him through and don't hold him up. They go across the line, yeah, gets through. Olsen stays to the right-hand side. Now can Bamba get down the inside of the GTD leader before turn 1? No, he can't. So that's going to hold him up. He's right there. The 67 Ford tries to go up the inside of the FAF car. Coming out the Big Bend, can't do it. Now, Dennis needs to stay as close as he can to the back of the Porsche in front and make that GTD car as wide as possible for the Ford. The blue flags are out, of course. Dennis in his own race, he'll want to give up as little time as possible, but if he could just hold up the Ford as well, that would be great, Dennis. That's what they'll be saying. And through in the Big Bend, the leader on the leader in GTD. So now Richard Westbrook will wait until the Sam Posey straight and then use the aerodynamics and the extra power of the Ford to go past the Porsche. That Porsche's quick in a straight line, though.
Certainly is, goodness gracious me.
Westbrook's going to have to do it on the brakes. Don't forget the ABS of the number 9 car. Olsen plays fair and gives him a width in the inside. Gave him a car's width, that's all he needs to do.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I don't think he'd get as much help from Mario Farnbacher, because Farnbacher won't want to go offline, Jeremy. He's out in the lead there of GT Daytona, and that has given a 2.5 seconds to Earl Bamba. The hydraulics making the noise. Oh, Farnbacher is all over the place when he gets on the power. He's really got to wait for the car to get straight before he can get the power on. The car's squirming around under load. Westbrook right up behind him now. And proof, as we saw a couple of laps ago, Jeremy, that those GTD cars do cause aero wash when Pele went off. Here comes Westbrook, he'll get him at the end of the Posey straight, he does.
Yeah, but all of a sudden that gap from first to second now is over 2 seconds again, so Westbrook has got it all to do again.
Apollo
and only 12 minutes remaining.
Andy Lally in Apollo 11 is the next car for the leading Porsche to have to negotiate. Down to 12.5 minutes to go. Tell your friends, if they're not watching or listening, get tuned in now. This has been a cracker, and it's not finished yet. At the end of the race, we'll have Michelin post-race tech. Wow, we've got a few things to talk about tonight. Hashtag Michelin PRT at IMSA Radio. 12 minutes to go. It seems like time is going so slowly, I'm sure, for Earl Bamba, leader of the championship. Porsche leading the championship for manufacturers. And the gap's disappeared again, as Earl Bamba has been unable to find a way past Andy Lally. Andy's doing nothing wrong here. He's in his own battle. 11th position for Andy Lally. Bamba's got to go up the inside, and he's got to do it now. Going into into West Bend, and he does. It's amazing.
That Lamborghini is through the corner.
Well, and it's quick down the straight, Jeremy, as well. So it might give a little bit of a tour to the Ford. Wow, that Ford looks super planted through the final corner, by the way, even when it's in the aero wash from the other cars. And the gap that was 2.5 seconds is now down to 0.5 second. 2 seconds on that lap alone for Westbrook as he chases down, all down to traffic. Traffic giveth, traffic taketh away.
83.96. The battle for third is on now in GTD with Bill Oberlin is now right with Jerome Bleckemol and pretty close. Exactly. Nor is Manny Campbell there as well. About a second or so between each of those 3 cars.
Well, there's no sense in keeping anything back now. You've got to give it all. 10.5 minutes left, and here comes Westbrook. He's got the run out the final corner. He's there. He's in the gap behind the Porsche. The Porsche pulls away though. But what are they going to be like on the brakes? I think the Ford's a little better on the brakes. That's Westbrook with a bit better tyre left at this stage, and here he comes round the outside of turn 2, switches to the outside of turn 3. He gets his nose ahead for maybe 10 feet, but that's all. There's an inevitability about what we're watching here. This is a Ford win. This is a Ford win, and Westbrook will know that. He knows he's got a fabulous chance here. The strategy has played the way of Ford. They've got the numbers right. The extra pit stop has worked. And all that time sitting behind the Corvette for the two Porsches has handed this race to from Porsche to Ford.
Not yet. The Porsche still leads, for goodness sake. There's only less than 10 minutes to go.
He's going to get
catching and passing are two very, very different stories on this Lime Rock Park track.
That is true. I think he's just going to do him round the outside of one of these corners. He's up the inside now at Big Bend, and he's got to keep the car. Oh, there's a nudge. There's another nudge. Westbrook into the right rear end, and just in front of just behind the rear wheel. Let's hope there's no damage to either car there. I wouldn't like to see this ended by a puncture. Still that water vapour coming out of the back of the Ford GT. Right hand side exhaust area. Now Westbrook will have to be careful now. Made contact there. It is a Ford in third position, but it's back down the road just a little bit. Bamber went wide, but it's still his corner at that point.
Yeah, that's all fine. That's hard racing, isn't it?
Oh, it's all right so long as there's no puncture, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah.
Because at that point,
I agree.
He's not really there, but he still presses the situation. Same part of the track, next lap around. Same response. Tell you, who is the fly in the ointment here, Jeremy? It's the Corvette.
Yeah, he's
coming up
closing in
behind
again.
them.
He's closing in, isn't he?
And this is Ollie Gavin, who's already dealt with Joey Hand. And now he's got the two leaders. Now he's only one lap off the lead. Now I know there's only 8 minutes left, but a lot could happen here. And Ollie Gavin fighting his way through here. Now who does that help? Surely it would help Bamber to start with, but then again it might help the Ford. Don't forget, Westy used to be a Corvette driver, as did Ryan Briscoe.
53 has now been the lap times for the race leader. He won't care about that, but look, side by side here they are again.
Touching again. It's very forceful indeed, but Bamber holds on. Can Westbrook go around the outside again? No, he can't. That's where it's got to happen, Jeremy. Oh, a little stumble on the curb for the 912. Now he'll have to take the inside line all the way down No Name Straight. Oh, there's a big push on the back there from Westbrook. That was the bump and run manoeuvre. Didn't come off there.
Just letting you know, just reminding him I'm here. This is great stuff. I love it. There is no quarter asked or given by these two.
Joey Hand's going to win this. Oh, Bleekemolen's off. Bleekemolen is off from fourth position. Pat Long was right with him as they went across the line. In fact, they were all right behind Bill Oberlin. Bill Oberlin's gone through in third. Bleekemolen was already down to fourth as they went across the line, and that was the exit of Big Ben. Same area that we've seen the Porsche and the Ford clashing. And he's overrun it again. And here are the two battling for the lead. Same part, same track. He's got the line this time, and he's gone through. He's gone through, and Ford will go on to win the race. Surely from here,
the two
BMWs ahead.
1-1 lap down, and number 3. Yeah, Colin De Filippi has really fallen back in the recent stages.
Somebody's hit the tyres again at the top of the hill. The two leaders trading paint yet again. It's not the worst thing for the championship, of course.
That was a brilliant move by Westbrook. I mean, he just used the better tyres, Michelin tyres on that 67 car, get a good jump off the left-hander to make the move into the right-hander.
Bamber's thinking championship. Bamber's thinking championship. He's let the Corvette go as well. He knows he's got nothing for the Ford. So it's Westbrook that will win this. Second place is what the 912 wants. He knew he couldn't fight any longer.
Yep.
And this is sound manoeuvring from Porsche. They're going to get second and fourth. They'll hold on to the manufacturer. They've all but won the manufacturer's title. And the Bamba and Van Thor team will move further ahead with the number 3 Corvette sitting down in 5th position. It will still be a battle for the Drivers' Championship between Bamba, Van Thor, Tandy and Pele. But it's going to be a Ford win here in the last 5 minutes for the 67 car, still in its heritage colour scheme. There's all kinds of damage, mind you, on the front of that car from the push and shove that we've had at the front of the field. Quite a bit of damage on the right front of that car. Big hole in the front of the Ford.
And number 66 car that's not too far behind. Was it? It was awfully close there with number 91 car, wasn't he?
Yes. And when he rejoined, he'd already been off at Big Bend. I think that was the problem. He'd already put his left side tyres off at Big Bend, tried to defend up the inside to the number 91 of Matt Campbell, who was saying, mate, you've been off the track, I'm coming around the outside of you. The little tap on the inside, and Bleekemolen was the one who came off worst there.
Game on in 2nd position though now, or yes, 3rd position I should say, in GTD. Oberlin, Long and Campbell absolutely nose to tail. Then a big gap back now to the recovering car number 33. Who's actually only just ahead of Jack Hawksworth in the Lexus.
Conor De Philippi in again with 3.5 minutes to go.
Really been struggling last few laps. He's fallen back at an enormous rate. The tyres just completely fell off the cliff there for De Philippi.
Left side tyres for Conor. Faf. And that's a Porsche leading. Olsen leads from Farnbacher. Olsen leads from Farnbacher. That's happened in traffic as well, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And that was just a moment or two ago. I think it was the Lamborghini that was involved. Yes, it was. The number 11, Andy Lally, just getting the leader offline, and that was, and with the BMW diving into the pits at the same time, a little lift from Farnbacher coming out of turn 7 onto the front straight was all that Olsen needed. What a debut here at Lime Rock Park for Dennis Olsen. And Faf could be on the way to the top of the podium.
And the Patrick Long is up into 3rd position as well. 4th position.
Only his 2nd IMSA start for Dennis Olsen. He drove with this team at Daytona. And by the way, Westbrook's cleared off now. 5 seconds, the lead. So he can cruise now. The interest is whether Joey Hahn can pick up the pace a little bit. He's only got 4 seconds to catch on. Well, but I think they're both in the same kind of tyre trouble, to be honest, because actually Joey Hahn was in a few laps earlier than Bamba. There's no other battles other than for left rear only for Bleekemolen in the pit lane. That's going to drop the 33 down. So the battles are on for Bill Oberlin is still defending Pat Long, which is now for the last step of the GTD podium, of course. That's the blue and yellow number 96 Turner BMW. Nose damage on the 67 car will not affect it. Ollie Gavin's right there, though. It's not 4 seconds now, by the way, between Bamba and Hand. It's nothing like that. There'll be at least another 2 laps, Jeremy. As the lead across the line now, there's a minute and a half to go. So white flag the next time around, and it could yet be a Ford 1-2 here. Ollie Gavin has, I think, decided not to try and unlap himself here, as Catherine Legg comes in and will end her stint behind the wheel in the pit lane.
Game on in GTD. Where are the
GTD runners about to come through, I think, Jeremy. No, in fact, they're just going through the right-hander on the no-name straight now, and it's still Dennis Olsen, just his 2nd IMSA outing. Good battle across the line there for a Corvette. That must have been Antonio Garcia. Ah, yes, he was putting a lap on Conor De Philippi. That's fine. There's the leader going through, and the white flag is out. It's a win for Richard Westbrook, but who's going to be 2nd? Earl Bamba goes across. It's just 1 second between the Porsche in 2nd position and the Ford in 3rd, and there is traffic there as well. There goes goes the battle across the line for GT Daytona down in the first corner, but they're not close enough for that to change, at least at the first corner. Ford have done it the hard way. One extra pit stop from all the cars behind it, down to fifth position in class, side by side for the lead, and a huge slide for the GTD second place car. Mario Formbacher, as Dennis Olsen would refused to give way, and why should he? The checkered flag is in hand. It's going to be the 67. What a run for Chip Ganassi. They take the NorthEast Grand Prix. Ford win at Live Rock. There goes the Porsche and just holds on by half a second. Earl Bamber increases his lead with his teammate Lawrence Vantour at the top of the GT LM category, and coming to the line. It's a drag race. It's going to be Porsche, but only just in GTD. 0.010 of a second.